Welcome to Vuk Talks, the show that speaks to education, health, entrepreneurship, and so much more.
Hello, South Africa. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Vuk Talks. With me, your host, Munjezi Makuba. I have with me Miss Nelisiwe Mzizi from Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator. Good day, Miss Nelly or Miss Mzizi. How would you like me to address you?
Please call me Nelly.
Okay. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm also fine.
I'm good,
Please
great.
feel free and relaxed. This is home. We can also joke around if you are a humorous person. But I know that you're going to talk about important things.
Of course. Thank you so much for making me feel at home.
Yes. Can you please tell me all about yourself? What is Harambee? What is it about? I'm sure there are a lot of people who are asking themselves the same question, especially the youth.
Yeah. So my name is Nelisiwe Mzizi. Everyone calls me Nelly. I am the senior manager at Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator in the contact center space. Our contact center is a space where we cultivate young talent and we support young South Africans who are work seekers. We restore their hope because we understand the journey of unemployment is a tough one, and it's really one that you need a partner, and that partner is us. When I talk about Harambee, as you've said, Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator is a not-for-profit social enterprise that helps young people earn real jobs. To put food in their tables. So that is our main responsibility to our South African youth. That's what we do.
Wow, that sounds interesting, hey? Yeah.
Tough, though.
Yeah. So I can see that there's a high rate of unemployment in our countries, hey? Yeah, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people, especially people from maybe Komahayeng, who are not really aware of Harambee, you see. So how can you advise them to get more information when it comes to getting engaged with Harambee?
That's the thing. Harambee is really that platform, and SA Youth per se, that caters exactly that. Young people who are in rural areas, young people who are in urban areas, we are everywhere. And how do young people reach us is the penetration of technology now is high. A young person, you find them anyway in using technology. So that's how they can access us through our sayouth.mobi, which we'll talk about it a bit more later.
And I'm sure you've noticed that there's been a lot of floods in Limpopo. I'm from Limpopo, by the way. Yeah, so I don't know what's happening. Is it climate change? So it's flooding like nonstop. The roads are broken. There are certain people who are drowning and all of those things. How do you think that will have an impact when it comes to a young person who's looking for a job? Let's say a person is staying Komahayeng and then the bridges are broken. There's no way out. Now it has become like an island. And then this person is looking for a job. They call the person for an interview.
That's the thing with SA Youth, we really partner with employers, ensuring that they are very inclusive. And by inclusive, we mean really understanding the challenges and the barriers of young people. In your example that you've made around floods, how does a young person access?
Even when it comes to their mental health and also acceptance when it comes to the situation. Because as a young person, it's easy to overthink, especially when you are in a situation where you are not employed. You might tend to overthink. You'll be like, wow, now there are floods and I'm looking for a job. You see, is this the end?
Definitely, it is not the end. That's one thing that I really want to make sure that young people at home, they understand that it's not the end of the world. However, you need to make sure that you get yourself in platforms like your SA Youth, where you have a partner that will be able to guide you. One, places where you can easily access some of these opportunities. But our main platform, as I said, you don't necessarily need to come to Harambee, you don't necessarily need to go to SA Youth. You can access us using your phone, and it's zero rated. That simply means you log in in our platform, the sa.mobi. You are able to search for opportunities. So, and we know that is just one of the barriers that young people face when when they're looking for employment. So as Harambee and SA Youth, so as an anchor partner in the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative, we work with employers, making sure that young people access us. So young people, the platform is really around bringing young people to these opportunities while we give employers access to a pool of talented and young people who are there and hungry to really make a mark in South Africa.
Wow, that's quite interesting. So is it every young person, or it's young people who are qualified and skilled, like graduates, or just any young person who's looking for employment?
Any young person who's looking for employment can use...
Also, sorry to interject. You can
no problem. Yeah. So it is a very touchy subject. So I understand the passion as well. When I talk about the work that we do as a youth, it is one that one really needs to think about the people that we cater for. So it's not about qualification, and that's what we advocate to employers, and changing the norm of one, a young person needs to have an experience. Think about it, just finish matric. The economy as it is, your parents are not able to take you to university. Does that mean that that's the end of you? Definitely not. That's why SA Youth is there for young people like that. Whether you're a graduate, you also understand we've got millions of young people who are graduate, who are unemployed. But our SA Youth caters, our SA Youth platform caters for young people who have experience, do not have experience, have qualification, don't have qualification, even those who don't have matric. So I think it's also important to note to young people to say, this platform gives you hope. It guides you, so you don't necessarily need even to have a matric, because a lot of employers, they want experience. Over and above that, one, as an entry, you need to have matric. But here we partner with employers who understand the need, who also are working and partnering with us in making sure that we cater for young people who are excluded in the economy, and that's what we want to do, to make sure that they are also active in the market.
Yeah, because I think it's quite sad to see young people struggling for a job, especially when it comes to the ones that are more qualified, the ones who are graduates. When you are young, you are advised to go to school, get educated, then you get a nice job. But after that, then you just sit around. You are asking yourself, I've done everything that I was asked to do. You see, I've ticked the boxes, but now there are no jobs. What is it that I'm supposed to do? Then it puts people in a very fragile state of, like, what is it that now I can do? Hence, other people end up resorting to negative things. You see, some, they end up becoming thieves, becoming depressed, all of those things, some even prostitution. But the person is qualified, which is not fair.
Absolutely.
So I really, really would like for our government to put more emphasis or more importance when it comes to the employment of young people, because they do deserve it that much, especially the fact that they went to school and tick all the boxes. What is stopping them from attaining their qualified jobs?
100%. That's why as SA Youth, we partner with not only government, we also partner with private sectors, we also partner with civil society, because we understand unemployment is a pandemic. There's no way we can solve it alone, or government can solve it alone. We need to partner. And all these stakeholders, they play a huge role in ensuring that young people access these opportunities. Because it's one thing to have qualification. Again, I'm saying it because based on the question, but like I said, our platform caters for anyone who really wants to actively access these opportunities. So our role is really around removing those barriers, barriers around cost of data. Oh my word! So I'm born and bred in Free State, and when I went home to connect with my grandmother, that's where.
Okay, sorry to interject again. You're born and bred in Free State, and you are Zulu. I'm just curious, but you can continue.
I know. I get that a lot. Ngikhuluma isiZulu and ngisifundile isiZulu. So Free State, I think it's more like Joburg. You know, like Joburg. When you come to Joburg, it's you get a lot of people speaking different languages. So in Free State, as much as is mainly Sutus, but there are Zulus. So I studied my primary at Delisi Zulu. High school, of course, we started mixing with Abesutu. I only got exposed to Chivenda, Sitonga, Sipedi when I got here, but I can bula bula a little bit. Please don't test me.
I also can't really bula bula, even though I'm from Limpopo. It's an embarrassing thing. I'm ashamed to admit that.
I think we can do better though, sister.
Yeah, I can. I should up my game.
Definitely. So I'm also passionate around languages. Because I believe as a South African, you cannot throw me in any province and not be able to come out or to build relationships. So so I was just talking about the barriers around cost of data, my experience when I'm home, the cost, because in Joburg there's Wi-Fi at home. I don't really notice that, but because as SA Youth we understand those challenges, that's why our platform is 0 rated. So young person does not need to have data to access the platform, does not need to have data to search for those opportunities. So it's that platform that I feel it's a gem, it's a secret gem in South Africa that some people don't know about it, and I think that's why, and I appreciate why we're having this conversation, because young people and millions of young people leave matric and enter into this market of unemployment. So it is important that information is out there so that they can access these opportunities.
And I think before I interjected, you wanted to say something about your grandmother.
Oh yeah. So I was, I was just really talking about. I was connecting with my grandmother. So when I'm in Free State, I understood how much data cost. It's not a good thing. That's why I was just coming to say that's why as Harambee we really advocate in removing barriers, and one of them is cost of data. So a young person does not really need to have data on their phone to access this platform.
Okay. So even if like I have zero data, I can just access Harambee.
You can.
Wow, that's brilliant.
SA Youth. So we access SA Youth. So remember, as Harambee, we operate SA Youth and we manage SA Youth. So you need to register on SA Youth, be able to log in, update your profile, make sure that you update your skills, because that is the most important thing that an employer wants to know about you. So it's not really around just stating your name, but it's really making sure that you complete all the sections that are in the platform. For example, your qualification. Again, if you don't have, it's okay, because you're talking about yourself. Experiences. Here's the thing about experience. Young people think you need to put experience only because you got that from a formal job. That's not the case. An experience is, for example, I always like to make this example around, you're a young person, you are volunteering in church. You are there in the information desk. Everyone who comes to church wants to know whether they want to be ushers, whether they want to be in a choir. You have that information, right? You are the face. You are helping these people with the information. That's customer service. You need to put that in your CV. And as SA Youth, we have a CV. So we have a template that you can complete your information and download that CV. So we always teach young people to say experience, a skill, is not something you get through formal employment.
Okay, so in terms of that, when you are saying that into any type of experience that you get, whether it's from church or wherever, you can just draft your CV and submit it. So it means that when a person is uploading the information on Harambee, they don't necessarily have to specify which job they are looking for. You guys are just going to allocate them to where they fit the most.
That's an important question, because that's where we use technology. So as long as your profile is updated, so you put in your address, you put in your skills, and when you talk about skills, you talk about you're a team worker. We talk about you're a good communicator. You talk about you're a team player. You talk about, for an example, you're a problem solver. So those are the skills that you obtain, right? So you need to add all of those. So technology comes in where our platform, we match you based on your profile, based on the information that you've said, based on your location, based on your interest.
Okay, because I cannot be applying for an HR job with the experience of someone who's, what can I say, who did maybe geology or something. With an experience, just for an example.
Requirements are quite important. I think understanding the requirements. I'm going to go back to our partnership with our employers because our opportunities are mainly for entry level jobs. So it's important to make sure that you meet the requirements. As you said, you cannot be applying for human resources, which is HR, when you have IT. But again, you need to see how your skills in IT match up with HR. If it's not really around human resource per se, but it's administration. As an IT person, I'm sure you do have skills of administration because you don't just go into a computer. There's things that you really need to do, how you plan your day, things like that. So it's how you build in your skills and speak to that job requirement. But I wanted to come and bring to this important part around our platform. Our platform, you're able to log in, and if you are, for example, we're in Pretoria now and you're only looking, we are able to match you to opportunities around you because remember, one of the barriers, in addition to cost of data, is transportation. Yeah. It is expensive. So therefore, we always try to make sure that we match you to opportunities that are around your area so that whatever the money that you get, it does not go all into transportation. So those are some of the barriers that we are removing as Harambee and our partners as SO Youth, making sure that young people are not excluded from being active in the job market.
Wow, you just enlightened me. I had no idea that you also want to take certain things that people do, like voluntary work, like saving at church, you see, in consideration. So I will share it with my church members or my church people. Please do. Yeah, I'll definitely.
This education really goes a long way, and that is just one example. For example, you assisting your uncle at his spaza shop. Yeah. People are buying a product. That's sales. Why are you not putting that skills in your CV? It's sales. You are talking to people. You are providing a service. You are communicating. So those are all the skills that are important, but young people don't think that far. But because we come to from a generation where we always think about a job or a skill or experience has to be from a formal sector. And over and above that, we have young people, 24% who do report that they're making their own money. As a youth, we have content to support them in their journey. So it's not only about jobs, and we also encourage that as you are working, you need to also make your own money.
Definitely. Yeah, one should have multiple streams of income.
Especially in this economy.
Exactly. You can only depend on one.
100%. Yeah. So I think for me, young people really need to take an advantage of the platform. As I said, it's one hidden gem in South Africa that most young people are not really exposed to it. And I challenge them and make a habit. It's 0 rated, as I've said. Make a habit of going to the platform, search for opportunities. Our partners post more than thousands and thousands of opportunities a day. So you really need to make sure that you get that habit of making time, log in, and search for opportunities. The beauty of our platform, like I said, we are able to match you based on your skill. That's why it's important to update your profile. Each skill that you get, you need to update.
Wow, thank you for the enlightenment, Sisi. So can you share with me a success story when it comes to the opportunities you've provided for a young person? That's one particular, or even if there are multiple success stories.
PWDs, people living with disability.
Okay.
That is one of our success. There's many, there's plenty. I can count a lot of them, but I think I just want to talk about PWDs, that's people living with disability. Okay. We cater for them, and our partners understand if that class has been excluded for such a long time. But in our program at Harambee, we have what we call a WIL program, so Work Integrated Learning program, where we advocate, we showcase to partners to say you can actually take someone who is epileptic, who people think, even themselves, because they've been excluded for so long, it tends to impact their self-esteem. It tends to impact their confidence. But in our program, we always showcase to partners that even the PWDs do deserve an opportunity. And we have young people who are currently in employment. I'm talking about real earning opportunities. but before they were excluded in the market.
Oh, okay. So then it's people who are living with disabilities
All kinds of
and
disabilities.
their lives will change because of that.
Completely.
Okay.
As I said, in the past, you've had this group of people being excluded.
Okay.
So we shine this light on them to say they are as same as you. And for me, I always like to position it as they are differently abled.
Yes.
There's not
definitely.
differently able because they're able to do the work that you can still do, but differently. We have in the contact center, we cater for them. Hence, I'm saying we advocate even with our partners to really hire people living with disability.
And you know what? I was very curious. If you don't mind, I really wanted you to get like more into maybe if it's just one story of that one young person whose life was impacted and changed tremendously.
Yeah, without really
But,
mentioning
yeah,
names.
but that's if you don't mind going into details.
Yeah.
Maybe for privacy purposes. I don't know. You
Absolutely.
don't have to mention the person's name. You can just-
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I think why am I coming back to PWD is because they've been excluded for the longest time. So we've got and it's not one person. Like I said, there's so many successful stories in our contact center. But you have a young person who they not, so there's one in particular, but I'm able to talk about that person because not like one.
Yeah.
So even if I say the circumstances, it's not necessarily that everyone will know who that person is because we've got a couple of them works with crushes, right? What happens is they work in a contact center. One, they never worked before because of their condition. They are living with disability. But secondly, now they are on crushes. So meaning they will take longer than you and me from a taxi to work. What we've done is accommodate them because, like I said, we have more than 2,800 employers we partner with. Uber is one of them, where we have a partnership with Uber where we are able to now negotiate, have this a young person using an Uber, one driver, because you're also very much cautious about safety. So we partner with that one driver who will then pick up this young person from home, drop them off at work. So they still feel they're part of the team. And they don't, one thing I can tell you with PWD, they don't want to be treated special.
Oh, yeah.
They do not want to be treated special, but what we like to do is reasonably accommodate them. We know their needs. We know how best we can accommodate them. So that young person has been in the program, graduated. So our program is 12-month program, is currently working in a bank.
Oh, wow.
So that is life-changing because before they never saw themselves in that position. But with that faith, they took a leap of faith. One day they decided to register, and being part of the 4.5 million young people who are in our network, whom we've supported for the last 15 years. That is one of many stories. Like I said, I can go on and on, talk about success stories in our space, but it's just one of those that I can just make sure that young people understand that they're not excluded.
Okay.
You
wow.
are.
You guys are doing a great job. So what advice would you give to a young person who keep applying for jobs but they keep getting rejected? They are applying, sending applications all over, but they are getting rejected or not even getting phone calls for interviews.
It's
Now
a
they're on the
sad
verge
reality.
of giving up.
It's a sad reality. We know that happens, but what we say to young people is just know that you have a partner. As a youth, there's a lot of content that you can reach out to that will guide you through your journey. And resilience is one thing that is built. These experiences, they build your resilience because even when you get employment, it's not going to be easy. It doesn't mean once you get that job, everything will be rosy. But that journey prepares you for your next. That journey of getting rejection, it builds a thick skin. And especially if you're going to go into sales. Sales is one industry that if you don't have a thick skin, you won't make it. So for me, I always turn the negative to positives. It's for me, again, a rejection, it's never never. it's a not now. So it's more saying there's more that you need to do. Maybe your CV is not up to date. Maybe the employer is not seeing what they need. So you still have time to make sure that you update your CV, you update your profile. As I said, as SA Youth, we provide with a free downloadable CV. So once you complete all your important information, you're able to download your CV and use that CV to apply for jobs. But again, just coming straight to your question around rejection, it happens. But what I like is we partner with employers who understand exactly that pain, and we want to make sure that even in that rejection there's some form of communication, because you apply and you don't hear anything. It's one thing that really can discourage anyone.
And it's not a great feeling, hey? I remember after varsity, when I was applying for jobs, they were not calling me. I was like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with me?
Yeah.
And you start questioning everything.
Yeah.
Be like, I got qualifications, the right qualifications. See, I was a good student, all of those things. Then you start asking yourself, what is happening? What's going on?
And there's
So
nothing wrong with
yeah.
you. It's just the market that we're in. One, there's a huge number of young people who need these jobs. So the competition is high, but you need to make sure that you're outstanding in how you put together skills. I think that's one thing. Putting together your skills, that little bit of what you know, put it there.
So, okay. So, in terms of you guys being liaising with employers, how do you do that? How do you place people to certain employers? How can I put it? How do you liaise with different sectors of employment? Let's say maybe is GCIS, government communications, or it's a private sector. How do you place people to certain spheres of departments, or private sectors or public sectors?
So one thing, we partner with employers who share the same sentiment as us, who understand inclusivity, who understand that it's really not around experience, it's really around potential and attitude.
Yes.
You can teach someone a job, but you cannot teach them attitude. So if someone has a good attitude, and it started at home, right? Your parents speak to you, but you always have a lot to say. It's not going to take you anywhere. You need to have a good listening, and you need to be teachable.
Yeah.
Our parents know better than us. We may think that we know, you may think that you know, but your parents have been there in different forms of time and shapes, whatever the case may be. They've been there. So really making sure that you listen. So just coming back to your question around partnering with our employers, it's really sharing the same sentiment around inclusivity, around and taking away this experience thing, because that's the main barrier. Again, employers wanting young people to have experience. So we work with them, and then we take them in the journey, take them along. So when we partner with you, you have a team that will support you throughout, help you even how you put your post, your job opportunity, the language that you use, so that it accommodates young people. So, and then once we have that, like I said, our system is able to then match, as a young person, match you to the employer or the job that speaks to your skill, that speaks to your experience, that speaks to your qualifications.
Wow, interesting. So I'm glad that you mentioned that one must be teachable, must have a teachable spirit. Because what I'm seeing, or what even other people, I'm not sure, I'm just going to speak for myself, is that nowadays, and when it comes to young people, there's a lot of I cannot be told what to do. I cannot be subjected to receiving orders from authority. So there's a lot of defiance. So, and now people, as you've indicated, it's easy to work with character than with qualifications and skills. So I want to get to my question. So what feedback have you received when it comes to the placements that you've received and placed to certain organizations? Have you received positive feedback in terms of the people of the youth that you've placed when it comes to their attitude? And if
We do.
I'm very curious when it comes to that.
We get a positive feedback from employers, because our content on SA Youth also talks about its readiness.
Yeah.
How do we prepare you for your next? And the content that we provide, because remember, it's not a platform only to bring jobs, but we also teach you things that you need to let go and start grabbing as you
Yeah.
go. So one, we also partner and design these processes with the same employers. So by the time they employ them, they know that they're getting someone who's ready to tap in those spaces. So definitely, and we continue to. So our partnership does not only end with an employer from just posting opportunities. To your point, we get that feedback, and we also use that feedback to ensure that we improve what we need to improve, so that as we continue, we incorporate all these feedback that we get. But so far, because they're getting young people who are ready, the pool is of young people who are ready and who want to make a change in their lives and those of their households.
And what do you do with the feedback? Let's say the feedback is negative in terms of the placements that you've given them. Yes, I understand that as people, we all have our flaws. We are young. We haven't been to the workplace, you see. When it comes to attitude and how things are done, sometimes it's because of lack of knowledge or even maturity as well. When it comes maybe to receiving orders from bosses or authority, you see. Then because we haven't really been familiar with the working environment, then we become rebellious, or we are unable to function or psychologically, so we are unable to strategize and being able to manage and maneuver around the people around us. A lot of people still need that skill, not because they are not employable, but because it's a human and psychological skill that a young person still need to learn, even though they can get better at it. Yeah.
That's the reality, right? You're not gonna get everyone who's 100% in it,
Perfect,
right?
yeah.
Perfect. That's the word. I think that's the right word. Who's perfect? But I think again, it starts with an attitude, right? If you are a young person that cannot be teachable, already you are closing that door for yourselves, because we are not then going to be in a position where we can advocate if really you are one person who doesn't change in your behavior. But again, it's a partnership, because even from an employer, you need to understand why. Why is this person the way they are, right? So it starts by understanding and coaching, because some young people, it's their first job.
Yes.
They don't know what they don't know. But as an employer, you need to understand you're not getting someone who's perfect. You need to also walk with them in that journey.
Yes.
So it's not like the
And be a
minute
good
you
mentor.
be a
And
good
be like,
mentor.
how can I build the potential that I'm seeing in this young person? You see,
Hence, that's an
and
attitude
bring
and
it to life.
potential.
And that will also give you pride as well.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. So it's a two-way thing. So employers don't really have to be hard on young people. They're going through a lot
They need
as
to
it is.
understand them.
As it is, 100%, they
Yeah.
need to understand them. They're going through a lot as it is. So giving them an opportunity has to also come with that sense and understanding that they're not coming as perfect. You need to have a room to mentor them. You need to have a room to teach them. You need to have a room. But as a young person, you need to also bring yourself. You're not going to stand there and expect the employer to do everything. You need to bring yourself.
So it means it's a two-way street where we come together. We both respect each other and we both understand our roles.
That's why
Yes,
that's why partnership for us, it's not really around we have partners, but we are partnering with employers. It's a continuous journey. We learn together, and we make sure that what we learn, we bring it back in our processes.
This is such an interesting interview. I still have a lot to ask, and I can see that you have a lot of information. I'm so passionate about this, but unfortunately, the time is not on our favor. I'm just going to ask you like one or two more questions before we wrap up.
Okay.
So what advice would you give to young people hoping to work in 2026 this year?
Yeah. I think in bits and pieces we already captured some of that. Is really when you are looking for opportunities, especially the graduates, be able to say it's about the skill, it's about experience. Whether you have a qualification in being an artisan, whatever it is, if you are given an opportunity to change your life, take that, because as you grow in your career, you never know. I wanted to be a doctor. Here I am. I'm in a contact center leading one of the biggest organization or contact center, award-winning global. So we have awards that
And
we
should
win.
you have been a doctor, I wouldn't have been sitting here with you talking
You
about
know what I
this.
mean? So exactly that. So every experience is important. So I think my advice really would be take that opportunity, run with it, and prove them wrong, because there are people who think young people now are lazy, and we've heard this recently, but we're not there. Take that opportunity and run with it.
Yes, and prove them that you are not lazy. Yeah.
No, they're not lazy.
So where can one reach you on social media platforms?
Okay. First, the sayouth.mobi, which we've spoken about, is 0 rated. Make sure that you register and be part of the 4.5 million young people who are in that platform, whom we've supported. We have 1.5 young people that we've connected to job opportunities. Make sure that you register first, sayouth.mobi. You register. You log in, make a habit of really searching for opportunities. But again, I'm going to emphasize, make sure that you complete your profile. All those sections that are there, make sure that you complete them. Make use of the platform. Search for opportunities. It's not the end of the world. A lot is happening, and you can connect to these job opportunities.
Okay, and telephonically, do you have a
Telefonica, yes, our contact center again, because again we come back to the cost. Our contact center is a toll-free number. You can reach us on 0800-7272. That's 0800 SA. We're also available in our social media, Facebook, sayouth.mobi. On Facebook it's sayouth.mobi, and then on Instagram, TikTok, we are available. And there's a lot of scammers. One thing that I really forgot to mention quickly, we are able to alert young people in all those social media. So please look and familiarize yourself with the platform.
And not be scammed, because I've seen this into these articles or on social media where there were young people who were scammed. Some were scammed to go to Russia and all of those things. So there's a lot of disturbing things, especially when a person is desperate for a job.
Yeah.
Please take care of yourselves. Don't just take any job or go to any job interview. Put your safety first and ask the right people for the right information, so that you don't find yourself in compromising into positions or situations where you are being placed in somewhere in Russia or whichever country, and you don't even know those people. So please, young people. So thank you so much for joining us. This was such an interesting interview. I would like to have you again. There's a lot I would like to ask, especially when it comes to young people. I'm very passionate about that.
I can tell.
Yes.
Now, thank you for having us.
Okay.
We really, this was such an important conversation to have. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much, South Africa, for tuning into this episode of Vuk Talks.
Brought to you by the GCIS.